So, yeah. So you guys are probably wondering, what the heck, is he working with Shaky Cam now? Well, kinda, yeah. You see, the problem is, my dog's kinda freaking out. I don't know what's going on with him, but, lately, Nappy's been pretty much trashing the whole place. Like, I don't know, maybe he's just getting cabin fever or whatever. You see, the problem is, we usually don't let him go outside until one of us comes home, be it either my dad or me, because, let's say, anytime we send him outside, he then starts digging into the soil, and normally it's not an issue. But when it's rainy, like it's rainy season right now in Texas, which as a Californian usually creeps me out, like, why is there water falling from the sky? This is not natural. But, yeah, long story short, the soil gets soft, he somehow starts digging under. We've tried multiple techniques to try to keep him from escaping, and, when he escapes, he ends up going into other neighbors' yards, and, yeah, we've been given a note that if we don't do something about it, animal control might actually take him, so, yeah, we pretty much have him on lockdown, and he's freaking out, look at these curtains. Those curtains were not like that when I was here, before, like last year. And yeah, let's just say some of that stuff is my fault, but most of it, honestly, it's like I usually try to keep my room clean. But yeah, he's kind of freaking out. So way to start 2019 on a good note. You know what else took place in 2019? The premise of this film, Akira, which I gotta go ahead and say it was about time I watched this, because this is one of those films that honestly, not only if you're an anime buff, but if you're a movie buff in general, you gotta watch it at some point. And honestly, it's pretty damn good. So, okay, what's the premise of the story? Well, basically, it takes place in the future, and specifically 2019, which for right now is the present. And basically, it takes place in Neo Tokyo, where in the events of 1989, there was World War III pretty much heated up. Something resembling a nuclear bomb blew up. The next thing you know, it's like almost Armageddon, but somehow, the whole world managed to somehow survive the apocalypse. I don't know how that happened. But, yeah. So, it leaves Japan in a militaristic government, which leads to a whole bunch of people pretty much starting to protest, and Japan's economy ends up pretty much tanking, which pretty much leads to a rise in poverty, a rise in unemployment, and long story short, a very poor quality of life. So the story revolves around Tetsuo and damn it, I keep forgetting these people's names. I am so sorry. Usually I remember. Kaneda, there we go, Kaneda. I keep forgetting for some reason. Anyways, during a gang war between two biker gangs, Tetsuo ends up getting in an accident and encountering this really freaky kid that somehow has telekinetic abilities, and then the government captures him thinking, hey, maybe he somehow has those telekinetic abilities just because of coming into contact with this kid. So they later release him, and they're like, dude, what the hell happened? And, that kind of stuff. Oh, look who just came in. I am very pissed off at you, you know that? Very pissed off. I'm sorry, you usually is a lot more well-behaved. Hopefully you behave while I'm recording, and maybe you'll find my, Yeah, I really shouldn't give him a hard time. Anyways, so yeah, they end up asking him what the heck happened, and he's just like, you know what, I'm just tired of listening to you, Kaneda. I just want to get the hell out of here. And he takes his girlfriend along with him and tries to get out, but he gets intercepted by another biker gang. And by the way, I gotta say, Tetsuo's girlfriend kind of looks a lot like Penny Parker. Like, you ever notice that? I knew that Gerard Way took inspiration from. I knew that the creators of the Spider-Gang took inspiration from Akira and Goes in the Show, but I didn't think they'd actually, take character models. Anyways, Within that scuffle, the gang sort of gets back together, but then the government takes them away, saying, okay, this guy definitely has telekinetic abilities or something, and they decide to, do a couple of tests on them, and I'm just trying to get them out just to keep this thing awake. And yeah, long story short, a whole lot of brouhaha. Kaneda, along with a girl who is a student protester named Kay, tries to break into the government facility and tries to get Tetsuo, tries to get their friend back, only to realize that he is long gone and hijinks ensue. Yeah, I honestly don't really want to spoil a lot of the film, but then again, this movie is like 30 years old. I mean, for God's sake, the premise, the year the film took place in. By the way, this film was released in 1988, and it takes place in 2019. Now we're living in 2019, and so far it looks like Tokyo is not Neo Tokyo depicted in Akira. But let me just get to that. So yeah, honestly, if you haven't seen it by now, odds are you're probably not going to see it. But just in case, you can probably find legal avenues, maybe even illegal avenues to watch this movie. And frankly, I don't think they'll care that much. I think after a certain time period, I don't know for how long, but yeah, I think after a certain time period, the copyright sort of voids itself and it just becomes, what's the term? Public domain, something like that. I don't know. I mean, for God's sakes, the movie was referenced in Ready Player One, so yeah, you have to have watched it by now. But yeah, let's go with the bad points, and really all I have to do, all the bad points I have with this movie, like it's not the greatest per se, mainly but it's still pretty good. The one thing that kind of bogs it down is the music. Now, all I'll say is it's serviceable. It's okay. It does its job, but I think there are a couple of songs or, a couple of melodies or whatever that could probably make it a little bit better. Like, for example, if I just replace the music from the movie with, say, synthwave, you'd probably get a similar, if not better, effect. Now, where it really shines in, another bad thing, if you're watching this movie dubbed, prepare to have a bad time because it is corny as hell. But yeah, don't let that discourage you. All I'd recommend is watch this subbed over instead of dubbed. But if you're watching it dubbed, just know that it's gonna get corny. Even by their standards back then. Like seriously, but I've heard better lines in an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. Anyways. The good points I'd have to say, there's some intriguing world building. I'll say that. It's definitely very vibrant, despite the dull appearance. And I gotta say, the animation, it's pretty good. Now, if you're watching this and you're like, they probably use computers to make the animation. It's not very impressive. Well, guess what? 1988. Just to give you guys some perspective, Pixar by this point was pretty much just a computer company. It hadn't even entered animation yet. Luxo Jr. wouldn't be made until another couple of years, or maybe it was already made by this point. So all of that was done by hand. You gotta give props to the masochists that just went into this thinking, we're making a movie, animated, in high detail. It's very impressive. Now, here's the thing I'll say about Neo Tokyo. No, the current Tokyo is not a ghetto, but you know what is right now? Venezuela. I don't know if it's just me, but I think they sort of predicted what Venezuela was gonna look like in the next couple of years, and that sort of surprises me. Honestly. If someone in Venezuela is watching this, in that case, props to you guys, fighting a good fight, down with socialism. I'm not a socialist at all. Like, no, I love my capitalism. But yeah, if you guys make this Kaneda, if you guys make Kaneda's motorcycle, or, you know, let's do that. Let's make Kaneda's motorcycle real and send it to someone in Venezuela just so they can ride around during the protest. I would like to see that. Wait, is Venezuela even still protesting? I think they still are. I'm not too sure. But here's one thing I definitely know for sure. Given how iconic this movie is, it's definitely going to appear in the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. That'll happen about a year and a half from now. And speaking of which, this movie kind of predicted the Tokyo 2020 Olympics were going to happen. Or maybe because this movie predicted the Tokyo 2020 Olympics, that now we're actually having the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. I know, very crazy. So, yeah, just keep a lookout for, you know, Kaneda's motorcycle in the opening ceremony. So, that's pretty much all I got for this anime. Honestly, right now I'm trying to catch up on another anime. Right now I have other projects going on. However, one thing I'm definitely keeping as a New Year's resolution, I know a lot of people said, you know, get a Mustang. But, you know what? I'm probably going to get an 8.6. Like the original 8.6. And if I get enough money to go to Anime Expo, I am going to drive that thing up there. So, yeah, share this around with people. You know, get the word out. But, yeah, that's all I really have to say for right now. And, yeah, like, subscribe, ring the bell, do what you have to do to make sure you catch up on new videos. And let me know what you guys want me to review next. And until then, this is me saying, thank you for being smart. Sayonara. I've got to get myself a new tripod.